Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my KJW Ultimate Guide to Upgrades video. Just going to show you my gun here, show you what this bad boy looks like. And I will get into the upgrades and all that stuff as soon as I get her broken down for you. Alright, let's do this. This is the Action Army hop-up unit for the KJW M700. This is the Maple Jet inner barrel. I'm not going to take this apart because it's a pain in the ass to get apart and put together. I've got these the tape barrel spacers so it'll fit in there and it doesn't move around too much. Makes it cool, I guess. This right here, it obviously is the end of the barrel. It goes in like this. It's held down by 2 screws. I have drilled out with a 5/16 inch drill the end of the barrel because it would barely be bigger than the barrel itself. And as you can see, I can actually fit this inside there and it'll go farther in, but I don't want to do that right now. But this was, I believe that this was causing my BBs to go ape shit and go everywhere. As you can see in one of my last videos of the year, the BBs were going everywhere. So I drilled that out, and this last weekend it worked pretty fine. It worked pretty well. That's that. Right there. Clean that off. That's nasty. That's nasty as shit. What the fuck? Anyway. This red bad boy is the G&G rubber. This red stuff right here. I took the old one out, put the G&G seal rubber in there. The other 2 pieces of this set are for the G&G version of another G&G rifle, which I'm not worried about here. Just make sure that stays clean so you got clear airflow. Here I have a Action Army magazine. You can see that this here used to be the front end of it. I used a hacksaw to cut it off. It's not perfect, but yeah, I used a hacksaw to cut it off. So this is separate. I super glued this strap around here to kind of keep it kind of in place. This particular model, it's not particularly good. It's not bad, but it's not great. It does okay. It'll hold it in, but it won't hold it in position. Got to bend this back here because this guy right here will not sit flush with him. So you have to bend this back so it'll sit in there. This here is a Russian HPA adapter. I think it's 1/8. It's like an 1/8 millimeter. So basically, you take the where you fill in your green gas, you pull that out, you take the gasket from that, gasket, the O-ring from that, and put it on here, and you screw this in, and you just plug your HPA pipe into your HPA hose to here, and it feeds the air. I use mine at about 90 psi, and it gives me about 3.3 joules, which is well under my typical sites FPS maximums. There are some fields that this will not be able to be used at. You don't use them at fields that they're not going to be used at, so that's neither here nor there. You can see where I've used a hacksaw to kind of cut this off, like right there, because this here normally here would sit and just be like this and mount it up like this. I used a hacksaw to cut this off so that I can use these as individual magazines, hence the need for the strap. Basically, it'll go like this. When I'm done, instead of having to unplug the hose, pull the magazine out, change it out, put it back in, plug the hose back in, now all I got to do is just pop the strap off, yank this sucker out, make sure the bolt's back, so this thing here won't get cut on these won't get cut on the nozzle. If you pull this out, you put your next one in, you get it fitted in, you lock the bolt, and then you strap this down. Unfortunately, this doesn't want to do its job properly, so you kind of got, when you're pulling the bolt back, you got to kind of hold this up, and that'll make it so it stays in place, so you can feed another BB into the barrel or the hop-up assembly. You know what I mean. But if you don't hold this up in place, it'll drop down, and it'll misload. It'll misload. So that's just something that you have to be aware of. The gentleman who made a video, I think it was in like 2008, 2009, or maybe even 2012, he's got a metal clamp that locks this on, which you don't have to worry about that. I just can't find the metal to make that clamp as of right now. If somebody can send me a link in the bottom, that'd be great too. If not, hey, whatever, I'll figure it out later, sooner than later, or later than sooner, or whatever the fuck. Oh, also, for some reason, these magazines, for some reason, they give you different outputs of pressure at 90 degrees. I've got two of these, which this one here shoots at 3.3 joules. The other Action Army one I have shoots at like 3.6 joules, and then the King Arms one will shoot under a joule at 90 psi. I probably should be using that one and just crank up the psi, but as it is concerned right now, this particular one is the one I just chose to use because it only uses 90 psi, which gives me more shots because I use a 4500 psi tank. And anybody wondering why don't I just take this off and not have to bend this guy here? This guy here holds in place this here, which is the bottom of the magazine, which keeps all this fun stuff, all the good stuff, keeps it all in place. So you have to have that. Or I could probably put something in there, like or weld it in there or something like that, but I'm not cool like that and I don't have those skills. And before anybody asks, the covering is this tape. It's this Allen duct tape that I found at Academy Sports. It's, I think it's like 15 bucks. It's not too expensive. The only thing that you have to be aware of is if you see like right here, you see how it's kind of fallen off and stuff. The tape doesn't adhere to itself, so you're gonna be using a lot of super glue. This here, I'm not worried about it falling off, but you can see where it's like coming up. I probably have to glue that down. I'm probably gonna glue that down after this, but it's just something that you have to keep out for because the tape does not adhere to itself. It'll adhere to the plastic and all that fun stuff, but you're gonna have to super glue the tape to itself because it doesn't adhere to itself for the 15th time. All right, I'm killing the audio and we're gonna put this gun back together for story time.
What's this weapon's name, Private Pyle?
Sir, the private's weapon's name is Charlene, sir.
Private Pyle, you are definitely born again hard. Hell, I may even allow you to serve as a rifleman in my beloved corps.
Welcome everybody to story time. This day's story is on my KJW M700, as you already know. I bought it late in 2008, just wanted to get into the sniping thing. And unfortunately, this gun is straight trash out of the box. $200, you think they'd give it some kind of accuracy? No, man, this thing will get it out to about maybe 75 feet and then just do whatever the fuck it wants to do. The gas system in it is trash. because the gas is inconsistent and the hop up and all that stuff is just utter garbage. So eventually I ended up upgrading to a CO2 unit. There's a video out to show you how to do it. I actually had to like drill and tap the high cap magazine. I ended up getting a EDGI inner barrel with the King Arms hop-up bucking because that was all the rage at the time. Only to find out that the hop-up never really worked. It's because the little hop-up is like a screw with a peg in it, would hit metal and would never actually go into the hop-up unit. So the gun never hopped. Now with the CO2 upgrade, it shot wonders, but I'm like shooting way over the target in the crosshairs to make sure the BB went to where it was supposed to, because it was literally just dropping as if it wasn't hopped at all. I would get these volleyball nets and hook up a sheet to the volleyball nets and put them out at our little makeshift field, and I would use that, and I would have like a black painted silhouette of a body on a white sheet, and I would use that to kind of gauge where my BBs were going, and it was pretty consistent with no hop. Unfortunately, it was shooting way too hot. With .43s, it was shooting well over 500 FPS. Made a buddy of mine, Keith, at the time. He ended up quitting because I tagged him in the neck from over 200 feet away, and it still hurt. Left a big ass welt on him. And went on my 7-year hiatus from airsoft because I was finishing up my naval career, and gave most of my collection away. Which brings us to late 2022. I found the gun, most of it was intact, and I realized that I could probably get this gun up and running again I wanted to see how it worked. So I got all the parts to it, got everything ready to go, and out the gate the gun was just outright disappointing, even with the hop-up upgrades and whatnot. So I bought a brand new inner barrel, the Action Army hop-up. I had to buy a new rail in screws and a new hop-up actuator because none of it would line up. Got all those new parts, it lined up, and I'm finally able to use the gun. And I ended up having to modify the magazines literally before I went and played airsoft this previous weekend, which would be the 7th of January, and literally had one decent enough round where I can get everything on video and actually post a video. But that's pretty much it for story time, so yeah. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my complete guide to the KJW M700 HPA mods. Any questions or future guides that you would like to see, please put in the comment section below. You guys have a great day. If you like what you see, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.